Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game SO. Today I got a fun and exciting episode for you guys this evening as we are playing Louie's Mansion. And if you're wondering why all the characters from Pikmin are now in Luigi's Mansion, that's because a modder Vivvy Boy has released a new modification for the original Luigi's Mansion on GameCube that brings the entire world of Pikmin into the game, and obviously we're playing as Louie, not Luigi here. Before we get far involved, it'd be a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well. But I love projects like this just because they're absolutely hilarious and really do change up a game even if the mechanics are the same. I'm pretty sure everyone knows, loves, and remembers the original Luigi's Mansion, and it is a franchise that we still have today. But honestly, something like this, putting Louie from Pikmin in, having the entire Pikmin universe come over and the storyline change to be Pikmin themed is a ton of fun. And all of the models here really do blend into the world of Luigi Mansion so well. It really does feel like a seamless experience that was made back in the day, and Luigi decided to take a break and not show up for his own game. Now you can play this on an original GameCube or you can play it on Dolphin. You just need to own an original copy of the game and then go ahead and modify that with an X Delta patch. And just so everyone is aware, I own a GameCube as well as 2 different copies of this game on North American and Japanese GameCube discs, so it is something I'm just saying for the video. And honestly, this is just a fun time. All of the characters from Pikmin, all of the different monsters that you're going to encounter in the world, all of the different characters from the franchise are going to be here in Luigi's Mansion. And for some reason, it makes the game even funnier. And it's not like Luigi's Mansion was a really proper quote-unquote horror game back in the day. It was definitely comedic, Luigi playing that coward character. And Louie does such a good job of seeming that cowardly with all of the animations that would be reserved for Luigi in the original game. But it is even funnier now because seeing Louie traipse around like Luigi within the world of the mansion, it is just so much fun. And I love seeing all of the Pikmin ghosts as well. At least in my imagination, this mansion is haunted by all of the Pikmin you sent to their deaths in the original game, because you throw Pikmin at all the enemies and they do end up dying. So in some ways this kind of feels like, at least to me, Louie's actual hell, where he has to confront all of the different souls of the Pikmin that he has sent to their deaths in the afterworld. And I know I'm imparting a lot of story on the game that is not here, but at least for me that's always a fun thing, kind of just to interject what I actually think about what might be going on in these fan games. And of course you have the president here as well, and it just looks so much fun. Again, this is supposed to be Professor Egad, but every single character in this game, every single ghost, every single boss is going to be pivoted into the Pikmin universe and franchise, and that is just a hilarious thing to see. And again, I do love fan games like this because they're taking a known property and just kind of turning it on its head. But of course this is still Luigi's Mansion, so the entire gameplay hook is going to be intact here. And I will say the developer of this did an amazing job of bringing all these models in. Those Pikmin as ghosts kind of just wafting towards the camera, everyone is scared. It just works so well. Even when we get into Egad's laboratory here, all of the text has been pivoted to tell you a completely different story. And I would say this version of the game runs extremely well. Every once in a while the text is going to overrun that speech bubble, but otherwise that's the only thing I noticed in my entire time playing this where I had any issues whatsoever. And I think it's hilarious that some of the characters here have been changed over to monsters or animals from the Pikmin universe, and this dude right here is really worried that Louie is going to eat him, and when you actually get to respond, you can say that he looks tasty. The sense of humor in this game is off the charts, and it really does make you laugh and want to see what comes next, and that's a really good job for a fan hack, basically making you want to play the same game again and find out what they've changed and what changes with the story. And you'll see here, you will have to talk to this character twice, because if you say you're going to try to eat him, it isn't going to work out well for you. That would basically just be a different response in the original game. But I love how these models look imported into the actual Luigi's Mansion engine. Those little feet just kicking down below, the sweat coming off him because he's worried that Louie is going to eat him. It is hilarious, and obviously there's just going to be a save point, but even all of the 2D assets have been changed up to be Pikmin universe themed. Every single item here, including that Game Boy at the bottom, the Game Boy horror is now the Coat Pod horror. Every single detail that could be Pikminized, for lack of a better term, has been Pikminized here, and I just love that. I love when modders go the extra mile to change up every single asset to basically make a new game out of something that already exists. And if you've ever played Luigi's Mansion, you will know how this works, but there might be a surprise or two here and there as to how the gameplay actually goes. And I am just showing you kind of the introductory area to Louie's Mansion, so you can kind of explore it and find out what's going on in the background yourself, because there's a lot of sense of discovery in this game, and it is a ton of fun just to kind of find new things. And I love all of the character portraits here. Of course, again, are Pikmin. Everything in this game is Pikmin, and I think the modder probably just thought that Louie's Mansion sounded like Luigi's Mansion, and why not make that? But of course, it is a GameCube game, so it's got a great soundtrack. Listen, and I'll be right back.
Yahoo!
I mean, how much fun is that, fighting a Pikmin with the Poltergust 2000, which has a different name in the game, but I'll let you discover that when you play it yourself. As we go into the next room here, it is just such an effective look. I would have never thought the Pikmin could look this good as ghosts with that translucent effect and that little bit of a glow around them. You're going to see that different Pikmin in the game are going to have different stats as far as how long you have to actually fight them before you're able to Ghostbusters them into Louie's backpack. So it is the same gameplay hook, it's just using all those Pikmin characters. And trust me, the further you get into the game, the more you're going to see and the more you're going to be surprised at just how many Pikmin nods they can get into the world of Luigi's Mansion. And honestly, I always loved this game on GameCube. There's been so many awesome sequels, including the most recent one on Switch. My wife and I play all of these games together just because we've always enjoyed them. So I may actually show her Luigi's Mansion and see if I can get her interested in it. Probably not, just because she really isn't attached to Pikmin that much. But you tell me down below, Pikmin or Luigi's Mansion, which one is the better franchise from Nintendo? I know they are wildly different, but for me, there's something about Luigi's Mansion that's always been charming and a little bit weird and a little bit different than everything else. And don't forget, there is even a Luigi's Mansion arcade game out there that you can play on PC. And as we go further into the world here, you're going to discover the ghosts. You're going to just see how many of them there are, including some of the monsters you killed in Pikmin. They're going to appear here as well, so Louie definitely has to atone for a lot of his Pikmin-based sins and try to beat these ghosts back in this game. And again, I'm basically just making up a story, but it kind of makes sense to me. You tell me what you think down below. And you'll see there that that monster also threw out a banana peel, which I think is funny in the original game and here as well. But every single time you're going to get a piece of story, it is going to be completely changed to be Pikmin based. There is Mr. President here. He's going to give you the same basic information that you would get in Luigi's Mansion, but it's going to be done in a different way, kind of in a more Pikmin way. And again, Louie versus Luigi, I love this character model. It is absolutely hilarious in all the best ways possible. And you'll see here as we get further in, all of the different characters you're going to encounter are also from Pikmin. And there's so many different characters in that franchise. You are really going to be surprised as to who shows up here and there. And I guess that is the main takeaway of this game, that sensation of fun, charm, and joy when you actually discover new areas of the mansion and see what characters from Pikmin are actually going to appear. This is the same Luigi's Mansion that I played almost 2 decades ago and still play in the franchise today, but it feels completely different in all the best ways possible. It's going to be relatively the same puzzles, but everything else is going to be totally Pikmin'd out, and I do think the Pikmin would be great for another franchise. Sure, the mainline series is a ton of fun, but I'm sure there's something else Nintendo could do with some Pikmin that would really make us interested in what is happening in that universe, because it is so charming, it is so strange, and Pikmin definitely has a very specific graphical style from the original game all the way up to the most recent release. Pikmin's always felt like playing in a diorama world, and there's something about the world of Luigi's Mansion that almost feels like you're playing in a model house as well, some sort of small diorama that you can just kind of enter into. And I think that's why this is such an effective translation of Luigi's Mansion to Louie's Mansion. It just really feels like they're part of the same universe, and you really aren't too confused or wondering why Pikmin are now in this game. You just go ahead and you run with it. And of course, once you get to the boss battles as well, they are 100% Pikminized, and I just think that's incredible. So Vivvy Boy did an amazing job of creating basically a brand new experience by changing nothing other than bringing Pikmin into the world of Luigi's Mansion, and that is definitely a 10 out of 10. I know this isn't really a new game game, it's going to be basically the same game you played before, but as far as the why to something like this, my answer is why not. This makes me happy, it makes me smile, it makes me have fun, and that's all you really need for a good fan game in a universe or property. And I just love this gigantic Pikmin right here in the boss battle. But short of that, we are done. Definitely check this one out. Leave me your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys next time. But trust me, Louie's Mansion, absolutely hilarious and a ton of fun. Bye-bye.